goes actually to segueing right into the show today, actually. Think about it. So, hey, everyone, I am Jim Gast, and welcome to the Reboot. I am joined this week by my good friends here.
Brian Bradshaw, B&L PC Solutions out of Long Island, New York.
And I'm Dave Groot with WinStar Technologies in Culpeper, Virginia.
And I'm David Luft with LDD Consulting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
We are all over the country here, guys. Is it warm over there today?
No, we had a big snowstorm.
Oh, wow.
Well, Texas was getting some snow yesterday.
I'm in Cincinnati, and honestly, this is the area of the country where the weather just can't make up its mind. We are
on a bunny trail.
No. That's Virginia. If you don't like the weather, wait an hour. It'll change.
Oh, that's Cincinnati, man. It's horrible. Now, do you know how David Groot, you're the chili pepper capital of the world?
Yeah.
Is that what you say? Yeah. We are the weather confusion capital of the world. So, well, hey, everyone, we are on the Reboot here this week to talk about the 3 ways to tell if you've got a good IT company. Why? Well, it comes to us that, a lot of people are looking at IT companies. Either you're trying to evaluate whether they're doing a good job for you. Do they get your stuff fixed? Are they timely? You could say that about any IT company, or maybe you're looking to switch. So maybe you're reevaluating where you're at. Maybe you're looking to switch. Maybe cost is a concern, so on and so forth. But if you just look at IT companies with, they say they got great service, the price is right, you're really missing out on the important stuff on how to evaluate a good IT company. We all know it. Us four all know it is so easy to put a sign in your front yard and say, I'm an IT guy. Bring your computers here and I'll fix them, or I'll come to you and fix them. Anybody can do that. And sadly, that still happens to this day. But that does not make for a great IT company. So we're going to talk about that. Guys, anything to add? I'd love to hear your input.
Well, I think it's far and away more important than just a price matter, right? It's more about making sure that IT person understands the culture of your business and the needs of your business, and then is able to provide those services in a way that's going to be efficient and done reliably, consistently.
Yep. I've had my company 25 years. What about you guys?
I'm 25.
Well,
yep.
Was it anything the same as what it is today?
Oh, no.
The main operating system is still Windows.
For sure.
Oh, come on. It was DOS.
I thought it was Novell.
No, that was the networking operating system.
Yeah,
but that went right along with Windows 3.11 for workers.
Oh, that's right. No, back then, when we started these companies, it was just about fixing the stuff, keeping it running, making it networking, making it network, making sure people have access and resources. That hasn't gone. But what are some of the newer complexities that IT companies need to be bringing to the table for their customers?
Security.
Look, Jim, I got to say, it's not fair really to make a comparison to 25 years ago, right?
No.
The way people were using computers, the way businesses were using computers 25 years ago versus what's happening today, like totally two different worlds, right? We used to fix computers and servers and stuff, but now it's like David said, it's security. Why? Well, because it's the people who are on the internet, literally every part of them,
Yeah.
So it's 10 times more complex than it ever was. And because you brought people into the mix, that makes it even more complex.
Yeah.
When you start talking about price, if you're doing it off that, these security products cost money. And that's going to drive the price up. So if you have the lowest price IT guy, you really need to evaluate, is that keeping your company safe?
Yeah. What about business services outside of cybersecurity? Do you believe that IT companies should act as either somewhat a business consultant in the area of technology?
I believe
Go ahead, Dave.
people should be a part of the
Brian,
partnership.
go.
Yeah. So you want to kind of, and this can, I understand people that don't believe in this philosophy. I, for one, in some ways don't, but to have one company handle everything, right? I mean, that's kind of like our goal is to listen. Let us handle your phones, your network, your computers, your office accounts, and your licensing and all that stuff, asset management, and the VCIO services. I mean, the list goes on and on and on what you can provide, and if you're adequately staffed to do that, that's a great thing, right? But what I do, as you know, when I look at my vendors, there's some vendors that do a lot of this stuff, and I'm like, and me as an owner, I'm like, I don't want to put everything in through one vendor. I want diversity. I want to be able to have different options and keep my options open. But to be honest, though, I think the clients would prefer one company to handle everything for them. I mean, it's to the point now where we're getting calls for stuff that we're not handling, and we're like, we'll take that over for you. And I think that's what they want.
I kind of see the IT department as becoming the general contractor, right? Like of the building project, right? Like you're Brian, we may not be doing the electrical work, but we're monitoring who's doing the electrical work, and we're hiring who's doing the electrical work, and we're vetting who's doing, and so that becomes very, very important. And if you're not allowing your IT people, whether it's outsourced or internal, to be a part of the strategic planning of your business on a regular and good, efficient, open, and transparent communication, I can't say enough adjectives there, you're really missing the boat. You're hurting yourself. It's like, if you can't trust your IT person, get a different one. But you need to tell them everything, because if they're good at what they're doing and you're telling them everything, they can listen to those things, and they can provide you the best advice and solutions and strategy to help achieve those goals at the quickest pace for the least cost with the most result.
That is way number one of the 3 ways, without a doubt in my mind. It should not be, we just fix your computers. Today, and you're right, David Groot, you cannot compare today fairly to 25 years ago. The major difference, there's a lot more moving parts. And businesses today have a need for those moving parts, vendor management, voice over IP, whatever it is, right? Even if you don't do it, businesses have the need to have all of those things addressed, not by the business owner, maybe, not by anybody in the office, because they don't really know. That's not their job necessarily. That's why they've got a managed service provider. The term managed services, right? You're not just fixing stuff. You're managing all of the technology.
Listen, I really believe that if you have a good IT company today, right, that has a good handle on everything, it's going to be hard for you to win that business. If they're doing everything right, aside from pricing comes into play there, but if they're doing everything right and they're handling this repertoire of services for you as they should be, and it should be difficult for you to try to win that business.
Yeah. It would, and it's a partnership, right? It's exactly. It's like a key personnel on your team. They're not going to be perfect all the time. You're going to have problems. They're going to have shortcomings, and you're going to have to come together for that key personnel. And if at a certain point it gets to be too difficult, you got to look elsewhere. But whoever you look for, you have to ask them, can you handle all aspects of my business's technology and my anything, right?
I think that becomes so important. The reason behind that is because technology touches every aspect of our world today, right? I mean, down to like ordering toilet paper. It's and so every little bit, cybersecurity, big topic. Everybody's talking about it. They're always worrying about it. But the bottom line is cybersecurity is a people problem, right? It's everywhere. Technology is everywhere. So we're all impacted by that. And the point I'm trying to make is your business. I mean, if you think you don't have a need for technology, or you're not using technology in your business because there's not a computer sitting on your desk, then you're wrong. You're mistaken. There's technology all over the place, and you just need to be making sure you're utilizing them for the most of your business.
You got it. Let's go to what I would like to talk about. Reason number 2. Okay.
Please.
So and it's not cybersecurity even, for that matter.
No, right.
It touches on a little bit. But if this company is a reliable, serious business that you have, shouldn't they have professional liability insurance? Shouldn't they have cyber liability insurance for themselves? What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't do business without it.
I love it.
I'm just like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, cyber liability for your sake, not to mention theirs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, as Brian mentioned, you cannot, IT for a long time became a commodity technology, and people looked at it as strictly price. And I'm sorry, you can't do that anymore, because it's about making sure that it can actually be delivered. If somebody's telling you that they can do something for a third of what every other company is telling you that they can do it for, there's a problem there, right? They're either not doing it, or they don't understand what it is that you're asking them to do, or they're doing it way inadequately. One of those three, and none of them's good for you.
That's right. That's right. What about I mean, David Luff, do you have any opinions on the extent of a cyber on liability insurance? $1 million, $5 million? What do you guys think?
It really depends on the company you're working with,
Mm-hmm.
the company sizes that you're working with. If it's
Right.
mostly small businesses, it could be lower. But if you've got, I mean, we've got a very large healthcare company, and the problem is, because I have cyber liability insurance, it doesn't mean that I'm inadequate. It just means that there are people, and that's the problem. You can click on an email and boom, there's a problem, or they could go to a website. And so you just need it. It doesn't mean that you're doing a bad job, but depending on the size of your customers, you definitely need relevant insurance.
You need vehicle insurance too. It doesn't mean you don't have a job. It just
Right.
means that when something happens that wasn't in your control, then
Right.
you're able to recover, right? I
Are
mean,
you are you guys having your customers ask for a certificate of insurance? COIs?
No, but we're filling out a ton of cybersecurity insurance
Questionnaires.
now
Yeah.
for customers that are getting it.
Yeah.
So let me make sure I understand that, Luft. So what you're saying is your customers are asking you to prove that you have cyber policies, cybersecurity minimums.
No.
They're
No,
getting insurance for themselves, and they're
Ah.
asking us to fill out the forms. And
Yeah.
the thing is, my customers don't ask me if I have cybersecurity insurance, but I don't care, because I want to protect them and me, whether they ask for it or not. I care enough about their business that I want to make sure we're protected.
Yeah, I like to actually tout our insurance policies and our security and so on and so forth. I've got a in my building, you can't get into my office without key card access, physical access. I brag about that because most IT companies just come right in the front door. Nobody stops you.
We keep our front door locked. You got to ring a doorbell, and somebody has to let you in.
So this here little device will clone your little card, and I can walk in the door right behind you all day long.
It's just a simple fact, though. It's a minimum security, right? You're right.
I have a lock on my door. My door's locked. The only way you're getting in is kicking it. I mean, it's just that simple.
All I'm saying is that at least it shows some due diligence, right?
You have controls in place. Yeah.
You got to prove that you have controls in place, and you back those controls up with policies, and you back that up with insurance that you can prove. And honestly, any IT company that's decent, in my opinion, shouldn't hide those facts.
No, indeed.
Right?
I mean, we have video cameras in our office too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I record every session. I know everything everybody's doing, every phone call, every click of the mouse, everything is recorded.
Yeah.
And then safely stored.
Right? So way number 2, they're protecting you, from by having insurance, and they're protecting you by not letting people come in their doors or infiltrating their businesses, right? And they have good practices and controls in place, right? All right, guys, let's get to the big elephant in the room, the cybersecurity. Okay.
Okay. Can I just, before we talk about that,
go.
I just got a couple of stats I want to just throw out.
Get it. Hold on a minute. Let's do this. Hold on, guys. Let's do this. Get it.
Well,
Groot.
all I want to say is that the IC3
Wait, where did I
report.
go? Where did I go? I'm still here.
You're there.
the IC3 crime report from the FBI and the Internet Complaint Center was released yesterday. Okay, so 2017 we had 301,000 incidents for a loss of $1.4 billion. Next year, $2.7 billion. Next year, 3.5. 2020, 4.2. 2021, $6.9 billion with 850,000 incidents. The numbers tell it, it's all right there. It's not going away, guys. It's getting worse.
Yeah, and it's not. And David, would you say that those are reported numbers? That there's probably some wiggle room for the unreported?
Oh, totally. This is from the place where you go report your cyber breach, right? The IC3 folks. But that's not. I mean, obviously, I think there's more people who don't report than who do. So
Same as car
if you're
accidents,
saying
right?
850,000, the reality is a couple million. I mean, like that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So let's frame up the cybersecurity conversation, though. Let me put a frame around it because you bring up that's some great statistics. So when I'm talking about cybersecurity, what I'm saying is the products and services that IT company is bringing to bear for their clients on their systems, right? Not our own, not the things that we use. Okay. We have to have more, right? I'm talking about the technologies and the tools and the services that they are recommending to their customers every single day. And so I know you guys have a lot to say about this. Go.
Go ahead, David.
I was going to let you guys talk first. I was trying to be polite.
He's holding back. Let's get David blood pressure medicine first. Okay, David Groot, we're going to get your blood pressure medicine first. Go.
Yeah, no, we're good. Hey, I mean, there's so many different things you can say, but like I continue to do first time appointments with clients or prospects, right? And we continue to see over and over and over again when we ask the question, is your current provider providing you with cybersecurity solutions? And we talked to them and they said, we're all covered. And then you start asking more questions and they don't know and they don't understand.
Say the name of that company. You can't say the name of that company. Please don't say the name of that company again.
What company?
Never mind. You didn't catch the joke. They will if they watch the show.
Okay. I'm not even, I guess I'm
all covered. That's
all right. Okay. I mean, look, so the bottom line is what used to be, standardized or basic remote management and monitoring and patching Windows, those things are all still very important, vulnerabilities. But like we have a new thing in our industry we're trying to use to fight this. It's called least privilege or zero trust. We're moving more in a direction of artificial intelligence and machine learning where things are going to start learning on the fly. They're already doing it to some extent, but it's going to get even more crazy, where our firewalls and our routers and stuff are making up rules on their own as things go, because that's the speed at which these threats are taking place. I go into Cyber Career Center here in our town, and I talk to young students who are in the cybersecurity class. And every time I walk in there, I ask them, how many of you in this room think you could stop a ransomware in process? And they all raise their hand. And then I show them how long it takes to infect your hard drive. And like, you can't get your hand to the mouse quick enough to do anything to stop that attack. There is no room left in this world for incompetency and lack of regard for the cyber threats that are out there.
I gotta interject here, David. I know you're on a roll, but I gotta ask you a question. And so I'm an IT guy, right?
Yep.
I'm not splicing. I'm just some random IT guy.
Sure.
Okay. Here I am fixing computers every day. Happy. The customers are happy. They get great service, right? Is it plausible still for me to say, I don't touch any cybersecurity? That's on you. I recommend antivirus and firewall and patching. That's all. That's not my responsibility. Is it realistic? Because they could argue a managed security service provider should be doing that. So, if you're an MSP, which is just a managed service provider, can you say we're still hands off on security? Should you accept that as the business owner?
Okay.
Anyone.
That would go.
Well, that goes back to what Brian was saying. You really need somebody who can handle everything, because if you have all these contractors working for you and they're not working together, you're going to have a very shambled environment. And
somebody's got to be the traffic cop. Somebody's got to be the traffic cop. Okay, that's a good one, right? Anybody else? Is it plausible that somebody could say that?
I mean, really, it could depend on if the business is 100% cloud and they're using dumb terminals or what, you know what I mean? Like, and they're, but I still can't. I mean, and that's a stretch, So
hey, you said it. It's a stretch.
Yeah,
I don't even think you could say that on reality, because as soon as you say the word cloud, that tells me they're connected to the internet, which means there's a supply chain involved. And then I don't care what you say or they're doing, because now they're part of the internet and they're there. Yeah. They're on the battlefield, right? Like they're there.
Sense, if an IT company is going to be a good IT company, they have to be addressing cybersecurity, whether they're doing it themselves or outsourcing it to somebody else.
Here's what I would say makes a good IT company, and it's going to be the fourth way, Jim. I'm sorry.
All right, go. That's okay. We promised 3. We got 3 at least.
The best IT companies out there focus more on business strategy than they do IT.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is technology is everywhere. Again, I've said this and I'm saying it again. It's part of every part of our world. If your IT guy is just talking about IT, he's not thinking big picture. She's not thinking big picture. They're not taking care of your business. They're not moving you forward. That's the kind of partnership you need to have with your IT department.
Yep. Yeah. It is a business service nowadays. It's not a maintenance service.
Yeah.
I will say one other thing, if I may. And then I'll
you may say as much. By the way, none of us think you hog the show. By the way, because we love
sure you do.
We love it when you talk. Don't you guys love when he talks? I love when he talks.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Love is a strong word, but I'm fond of it.
Here's my take on the whole. Should they be taking care of security, or should they say they're hands off security, or any of that kind of thing? Listen, the company is certainly under their own prerogative to say they don't want to deal with cybersecurity, although I think that's kind of stupid, but okay. You don't want to have the liability, the responsibility, the whatever. You're not skilled, your talent set's not there. Doesn't take away the need for cybersecurity on any level. And like if they're not talking to you about it, right? Are they doing it at home? Like, are they following through? Where are we going?
Yeah. How can, in other words, how can you trust them in their own business practices if they're not talking to you about it? Is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
And then the other part of that is if something happens to you and you get breached, and they have a signed document from you saying, I decline that service, whatever, which is, again, if they're not doing it, they should at least go that far.
Yeah.
I can assure you, in litigation, okay, you will be deemed the professional, and you will be deemed the one who should have known better. And it will be put in your lap by the judge, who has no concept or understanding of cybersecurity or IT or networking or people or psychology or anything except for the law. Okay? If you want your future decided on that,
the industry today, if you're an IT guy, as a consultant of sorts for businesses that is not specifically to an application or a copier, but if you're a general consultant, the accepted perception today is that you're handling cybersecurity. What does that mean? I don't know. It has to be defined. You almost have to make a full-time job to change the perception for your company. At I don't do it, and scream it on the mountains for you to have to waive that perception from whatever client you have. Because if my customer gets hacked, and I'm even providing antivirus,
who are they calling?
Who are they calling? if my customer gets hacked and they don't have antivirus,
Yeah,
who they calling?
Yep.
Who they calling?
Yeah.
The perception is the computer guy.
Yeah.
So you can't put your head in the sand.
Negligence. You know,
can't put your head in the sand.
They call that.
What's that again?
They call that negligence when you're aware of a step you should be taking and you don't.
You can waive it. You can waive it, but there's a full-time job just in waiving that, right? Yeah. All right, let's give a couple of really quick.
What's the gain? Like, what's the gain from waiving it, right? Like, think about what you have to lose.
Yeah.
That's the part that you need to be talking about.
Right. So, way to tell. 3 ways so far. We kind of have 4, right? What are they? Are they providing a business service, or are they just fixing computers? Are they covering their butts and covering your butt, right? With insurance and in practices and policies? Are they using cybersecurity technologies, right? And are they taking responsibility and not just putting their head in the sand for those things? What about, guys, let's get some of the more basic ones, right? Answering the phones as live as possible, or live, right? Pretty important. Or do you got to put a voicemail message on and wait for them to call you back for 3 days?
Two of the last 3 people I spoke to in the last 2 weeks, prospects, called us because they have very poor response time from who they're using now. And by poor, I mean 2 hours to respond to a ticket.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Wow. And the other one just says that it'll be days before they hear back. And listen, you laugh, but it still happens.
You know what? It just shows poor processes, is what it shows.
Yeah.
That's also the maturity of a business and processes.
And are they sitting with you? Listen, sit down every quarter, twice a year, once a year. And you know what I do? I talk about where we're good. I talk about where I think we're weak with our clients. Like this is, and then let me know where we can improve. Have those conversations. Be candid about it.
Honesty.
Yeah.
You know what? There's another one. So you can say like, this is like 6 or 7 or whatever. In my opinion, non-technical communications. We said it's a business consulting service, really. Okay. So shouldn't you be sitting down on a regular cadence with your business consultants, technology consultants, and having a strategy session, an
alignment session,
a management session? Go. What's that again?
Alignment, right? Strategy alignment. We're aligning the technology to the strategy of the business.
You got it. You got it, guys. Well, listen, we're at 27 minutes, guys. I think we could beat this one up. I think what I'd like to do next week, if you guys are open to it, I'd like to talk about some of the more advanced, applicable cybersecurities right above that basic level. That thing that IT company should be bringing to bear for them. You guys game for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good conversation, a nice segue from here. So, well, listen, everyone, thanks for joining us on the Reboot. Again, we're on the Reboot every Wednesday at 1:30 Eastern time. We have a great time doing it. We hopefully this information is very valuable to you. And if you have questions, you can put them in the comments somewhere, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. And I thank you all for participating. Again, this is always invaluable. So thanks a lot, guys.
I tried to keep it calm, guys. I'm sorry if I got a little carried away, but
well, you did great. Nope. We're gonna get you a blood pressure meter. Don't worry.
I got my little cuff right here. It's doing okay.
All right, everyone, have a great week.
Guys.
See you.
Thanks,
Have a
great day,
guys.
Have a good week.
Take care.